Gabriel's ghost is Chaz Bergren's story, and she is wrongly court-martialed for an action she knows she did not do, and she is sentenced to a prison planet, and she is rescued by an individual that she had chased for years who's on the other side of the law. She thinks he's dead. She does not really know why he's offering to get her off the planet, but she's willing to take any chance that she can, and comes to find out that there is a political situation going on behind the scenes. It's very, very deathly and very tragic. Someone is breeding or cloning monsters that are basically, wild guard dogs that can rip people apart. The whole thing with Gabriel's ghost is really the story of Chaz and Sully, who rescues her, and Sully finally trusting her enough to reveal what he is, which is more than human. And it's her acceptance of him and Sully's beginning of his journey, of his acceptance of himself, in between, of course, a lot of spaceships blowing up and laser fights and sword fights and everything else going on and people getting punched down, what have you. Shades of Dark picks up 3 months after Gabriel's ghost. Again, first-person point of view, Chaz. And we now know what Sully is, that he is a chirokiral, that he has powers that are beyond a human being, and that these are powers that, in their culture, he would be killed for if people knew what he was. And he knows he would be ostracized. So this is something that Chaz keeps very close to her vest with him and very secret with him. But I can't let just Sully have a good life. I have to torture him. That's my job. But he needs growth. Because part of Sully's problems have been that he never admitted to himself really what he could do. And he's fought what he was, and he was embarrassed of what he was. So I have to make him realize that what he is fully the good and the bad is Sully. Shades of Dark is that part of the growth. That is the karma part of the story. Because of all the things he'd done before, now it comes home to roost on him. And where he still is devoted to stopping the bad situation going on in the galaxy where they live, and Chaz is helping him. But in order to do that, he has to use these powers that he has always hated. So he has to come to terms with himself, and it is the story of absolute power corrupting absolutely, and then the results of that. Hope's Folly is the spin-off because Admiral Philip Guthrie was Chaz's ex-husband, who in the first book was not a bad guy but not a good guy, but kind of came around to be a good guy at the end. In Shades, he shows up now as the Empire is falling apart, and he needs Sully and Chaz's help, and he grows through that. And it was really in the middle of writing Shades that Philip showed up in my office and sat down in my chair and said, excuse me, Linnea. And I'm like, Philip, I'm writing, I'm busy. No, excuse me, Linnea. He said, I really need to talk to you right now. He said, look, in Gabriel's Ghost in book 1, you took my wife away from me. You had me shot. I almost died. I was beaten up. All right. In book 2, in Shades of Dark, I don't want to get into too many spoilers here, but I'm shot at again. I'm almost killed. All right. All these things go wrong, and you destroy the fleet that I was admiral of. I don't even have a fleet. I don't even have a job anymore. Do you know what you're doing to me? I deserve my own story. I'm like, Philip, you're right. I've really been really rotten to you. He says, just give me a fleet back and let me help Chaz and Sully solve these problems. I go, okay, Philip, bye. I'll do that. And as he leaves, I go, but I'm going to do more. You have no idea what I have coming after you. So I throw him into this May-December romance. Because Philip says in Shades, he tells Chaz, as he apologizes for hurting her, in their marriage and so forth, and he says to her, he says, I know that I'm not cut out for love. I mean, I'm a military person, and that's my career, and that's all I ever want to be. Love is out of the picture. And he tells her that. That's all you had to say, Philip. You are so in trouble with me.